Man, how did that work? Okay, got it.
Ah, don't have a 2x4 to walk on that one.
Yeah, you watch out, you don't. Alright, just gonna go on this side, dog.
You have the trigger pulled and then you smash it.
Alright, welcome back to Blackacre Ranch, everybody. Isn't it nice to have a nice green grass behind you? That is pasture 7, is recovered from all the manure, and we actually have winter grasses. I don't know what they are, but we're waiting for them to grow so they can get eaten. Anyway, today we're going to give you an update on the well house. That's what it's called, the well house, and let you know kind of all the changes that have happened. We didn't get it all on video because we started busting through this, getting it done on Thanksgiving week, and cranking through this. So there's a lot to update with you. And anyway, stick with us. I'll fill you in on all the details. All right, so right behind me, that's the well house. It's got some siding up. We finally just bit the bullet. We've been fighting this weather. So the weather about every 2-3 days has just been raining, and then it would kind of hold up, and then it would be super windy and cold, and all of a sudden it would be nicer. But you know, it never lines up on the days you could work or everything else. So we've been fighting this for a number of weeks. My parents came into town to finish this thing, and it's still not done. Anyway, but it's time to update you on it. We have the windows in. My parents have pretty much done all of this. I swear, it's like I'm at work, or I'm doing all the welding for the handling facility, or we're messing with the trenching, or there's just all sorts of stuff, guys. So siding is up. We decided a first step was we just put up the siding. We got the siding up, got it around. My brother and his 2 kids came and helped. We got it all done. It was actually pretty quick. My parents then put the skirt on. We're gonna be putting a trim piece right around the bottom.
I put skirt on.
Oh.
Our kids.
All right. My wife and kids put the skirt on. We're gonna be putting a trim piece around there. The reason I put the lower section as the small skirt was because when the grasses or other things like that grow up, it starts rotting out typically at the bottom. You can just take off a little piece, put on a new one, and you're not having to take the whole sheet. So just for efficiency purposes in the long run. But anyway, let's go look around the other side. So this is on the east side. I did note, if you didn't notice, the windows in. Some things that I learned, because I told you I was going to share with you my mistakes, okay? Somehow building and laying out the framing for this, we got off in a certain section, all right? So what happened was I measured from down there and we built this way. All seems fine and good. And then we get to this point, it wasn't too bad. Then on this wall, we had built this section and then had the other section come in this way. Anyway, it ended up not lining up, and we ended up being like 1.5 inches off. So there are a few spots where you just had to take a piece of wood. Here, let's go look at it.
Okay.
Like this. We put this on a scabbed on the inside because we were 1 stud off. We did that here, we did that here, and we did that here. And you can kind of see that theme kind of carried itself down. So this is the inside. Over here, we had to do that a couple times near the window. I think there was one there. Anyway, just make sure your framing and your studs are straight. When I look down from the top, it looked like the stud goes, and so they kind of bowed. We had left them out in the weather for probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. And I'm sure that didn't help. So my dad, before we had actually put the sheeting up, gotten all this blocking done at the bottom, and that's where we started noticing that things were a little bit squirrely. But you know, it is what it is, and you just come up with ways to solve it, which is why we put these guys on it where we needed to, so we could go ahead and actually have something nailed. Obviously this is going on construction site right now. My daughter's up putting blocking, so we had a couple changes of heart. Before we were gonna have our eaves that come out 6 inches, and then we were gonna maybe box them in. The 2x6s that I bought to be the front fascia needed to be 2x10s. And I'm like, 2x10s? You gotta be kidding me. So I priced out 1x10s. Oh, heck no, I'm not paying $30 for an 8-foot board. So what we're doing is we're just gonna be putting some blocking, and then that's where we'll put our, what do we call them, the foam strips, right along there with our strapping, whatever you wanna call it, up top. So that's what she's doing now, but I mean, so much has changed, guys, like it's crazy. It was a beast. It was just done right before a rainstorm, right before a wind. And my dad and I just got that up. Really what we just did was we had a pole that was set to a certain height in the middle, and then we put some bracing like we did on the back side here, just to kind of hold it. So we held it at 2 ends, and it just got them up, nail them, and then got some others up, nail them, and then that was fine. You do want to put some sort of angled bracing to keep it from wobbling back and forth, but yeah, along those lines, or other area, electric. You can see my dad's wired everything, and he's got the box coming in. We ended up wiring, you put in how much, Dad? 100 amp, 125? 125. Yeah, so it's 125. At least it's wired for 125. Do you have a 125 amp?
I have a
breaker?
amp circuit.
Okay. So we have a 100 amp circuit breaker in from the pavilion. He ran all new line to put ourselves 100 amps here. It's sized for 125. We just got to get a different breaker. But the 60 that was here is just going to cut it short, and he likes outlets. You like outlets, don't you, Dad?
Hey, I don't have to reach far.
Yeah, he doesn't have to reach far. So we've got ourselves a full bank. We've got 2 circuits. Bing, 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 all the way around. Then there's a far circuit on the far side. Now you see there's that one outlet down at the bottom. That is going to be for our pump to run all the pressure for the pressured system. I'm going to go into details about what kind of system we've got. You know, you can have pressure tanks and booster pumps and everything else. That is actually a 220 20 amp circuit. So that is run off its own. And my dad has labeled everything, got it all set up, and looks really good. So you can see that there's a ton of stuff that's been going on. Come on, Mario, you can go through. A ton of stuff's been going on, from electrical to, gosh, I don't even know if I'm telling you everything. We got all the rafters up, and all the joists are now secured. We got hurricane ties across the tops. So yeah, I mean, you'll notice, like I said before, we're 4 feet in from the ends before we start with the joists, but that leaves us plenty of room to do whatever we need. So along those lines, electrical, let's look outside. All right, so outside, this is where the trench used to be. If you remember, we had a big trench here for the water lines, for everything else. My dad went over with there and ran it all the way out here in the same trench, and Charlotte filled it in. So this is our new creation here, filled in. We've got my existing water line for the pressured system. This is just the passive gravity feed to blend with the 10,000 gallons. This will actually run here, run to some spigots, and then go over to the big barn. And whenever that ends up getting done, I have no idea. But we have water that will be pressurized over there. All the controls for everything from the well, so far we're leaving them here. Not sure how we're actually going to get them in, and frankly I just might leave them here. It just may end up being here, because I think I want to put a lean-to at some time to match the concrete edge over there, which would put it extending over this box anyway, and over that, so it would protect it from the rain. Most of the rain all comes from that direction anyway. So this is a lot of the stuff. Did I miss anything?
With these pipes over here at the bottom, we haven't finished this low section because we have to be able to cut the holes to match them and line them up to go in. So until we cut it and re-hole and connect it, those few pieces aren't quite done. Yeah,
and it just means I have to get some 1 1/4 inch fittings and get over here and cut it we can put it all in there and drill the right hole. So it's just something that hasn't been done yet. And then also goes over by the well. There's another one that goes in that fills the tank. So we just haven't messed with those too much yet. But otherwise, Chica's gonna finish this blocking. We are ending up gonna just be putting front fascia boards here. We're just reusing a bunch of the boards we had from the stage that we cleared out, gosh, 2 years ago. And that's just been, there's a stage in our pavilion, a big massive one. So we've got a bunch of 2x8s and other lumber. We're reusing that all up in here instead of going out and spending $300-400 more in wood. So next tasks really, guys, are we gotta put the strapping down up on the roof, and we put the roof up. So once Chica's done with blocking, if she'll hurry it up, anyway, little Chica. So once she's done with that, we'll start jumping on the roofing. So I don't know, could be a couple days.
This is not smart at all. Wonderful. Like that? I tried. I did stop doing that, didn't I?
And all the space is still waiting for blocking.
So we'll catch you guys back up with the roofing when we get to that point, and we'll see you then.